Welcome back to the Garden of English. I'm not Tim Freitas. I'm Crystal Law Liberty. As we journey into today's video, I'm going to be working on busting the myth that you shouldn't use personal pronouns in your essays. I mean, sure, you shouldn't use personal pronouns in a rhetorical analysis essay, and there may be limited times you'd want to use them in a synthesis essay, like when you're writing a conclusion. But when you write an argument, if you have a great example from your own life that works, you want to write about yourself. And there's no other way to do that unless you use personal pronouns. Now, if you like that news, you'll want to prove it by liking this video. Make sure you also subscribe so you don't miss any more good news and writing tips. Anyway, let's actually look at how to write about yourself when writing an argument. For my example, we are going to continue to work with the censorship prompt and thesis from past argument videos. The thesis itself is about to pop up on the screen. Alright, so Tim showed you how to write what would be the first body paragraph for this essay. But now I'm going to produce what would be the third paragraph using myself as an example. Let's start by writing a topic sentence. Remember that this sentence must include transitional language, a generalized reference to an example, and an abstract idea that will prompt your reasoning in your commentary. So if I were to draw from my own life experience and include it in my topic sentence, it would look like this. Notice that when I say as a mother, I begin to transition from the ridiculous example of the Starbucks fiasco and shift my reader's attention to the much more practical and realistic experiences. I also referenced generally to my example when I mentioned Disney+. And my argument is included in the topic sentence when I discuss making informed choices to shield my children. So this topic sentence does it all. Now we'll have to include a more detailed description of my Disney+ example. It would look like this. One note here. When describing your example, remember that you need to be incredibly detailed. But what's also important to note is that the accuracy of your details are less important than the fact that you know those vivid details need to be there in the first place. Of course I've seen Deadpool before, but I really did see it pop up on the screen and thought about how detrimental it would be if my son saw it. So I took some liberties with the details to better fit the argument at hand. Essentially, I'm not telling you to lie because the story is mostly true and you still want to draw from your life experience. But I'm telling you to be creative and specific and vivid as you tell your story, as long as you don't go above 5 sentences. Look, if you mistake Uncle Buck for Cousin Vinny, but the story is still true and illustrates the argument set forth in your topic sentence and thesis, then rock on with your bad self. Now let's shift back to the commentary and see what that would look like here. I want to mention one other really important move when providing commentary for personal examples. It is not enough to rely on the fact that you have lived your idea, and so it must be true for others. You have to actually connect it to other people. Look, I'm sure you're all lovely individuals, and trust me, I care about you, but AP does not.
I don't care who you are, that's funny right there.
So notice how my last line of commentary connects my experience to others when I use words and phrases like not just in my life, parents everywhere, our children, and their development. In the past, when you were told not to use personal pronouns, what your teacher really meant was not to say things like, I believe, I think, in my opinion, or in my paper, I will argue. Those all indicate immature writing skills. What we have covered here today is so much more than that. You want to tell detailed stories that prove the validity of your point. And if you can do that, you can confidently include personal pronouns in your paper. And now what I want you to do is watch this video here about how you can conclude your arguments.